Welcome to Sprouting with Shy. My name is Cheyenne and I garden here in Phoenix, Arizona, Zone 9B. And today I want to take a walk through my garden, show you how things are doing, and also talk about monsoon gardening. So my summer garden is not looking that great right now, but lucky for us Arizona gardeners, we have a second planting window for monsoon. So the things that aren't doing that well, I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm going to pull it out and replace it with some transplants that I have started inside. This is my garden. I'm going to go ahead and walk you through, show you how things are doing, and talk about what things we're going to be pulling out and replacing with transplants for monsoon gardening. So over here in this first bed, I have my gray zucchini, which isn't looking too great, but I have got quite a lot of zucchinis from this plant, and I tend to like the gray zucchinis, but I might take this one out and replace it with a new one. Also over here I have another, this is actually a squash. This is called a Dixie squash. This one has produced some squash, but it isn't that productive. So I'm going to be taking it out and probably putting a gray zucchini in this spot, and then over here putting an okra, and then this is my eggplant, which eggplant tends to last years, so this will be staying right there. And over here hiding in the corner, we have this little tomato plant, but it's looking beat up. It was hot, and I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm going to be taking this one out. And over here on this little arch, this is just a wire mesh arch. You can buy these wire mesh at Home Depot in the masonry section, and they're just zip tied together, and it makes this little arch. But this is my Armenian cucumber. This plant will be staying because Armenian cucumbers do great in the summer, so I'm hopeful that this thing will get big and start producing Armenian cucumbers for me. Over here in the corner, this is my parsley, which I think it's about to get too hot for parsley, so this parsley will also be coming out. And then over here I have a gomphrena flower, which is I tend to not have good luck with flowers, so that thing's toast, so I will be pulling that out also. And I have some eggplants in these potted plants, which will be staying because eggplants do good. And over in this bed, I have a crockneck squash right here, which has not this one has only produced one squash this whole season, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna be taking this one out or leaving it. And then over here I have another gray zucchini, which this one has also not produced for me, and it's looking pretty rough, so this one will probably be coming out. And in the front here I have some marigold flowers, which I thought were getting attacked by spider mites, but I couldn't find any of their webbing, and I realized that it's actually thrips that are eating these marigolds. You can kind of see a lot of damage in there, but that's thrips, so I might leave them. They're not pretty, but I haven't seen thrips anywhere else in my garden, so they tend to just like these marigolds, so I might just keep those there. And then in the back on this trellis, I have put my Jacoby little pumpkins, and I have put some beans, And I'm hoping that as it heats up, those pumpkins and beans will climb up this trellis right here. So this bed, I will be keeping the beans and the pumpkins, and I might replace these two squash and zucchinis with another gray zucchini and maybe an okra. And over in this bed, this is my tomato bed. These tomatoes are still holding on pretty well. They're still producing a little bit, but it's about to be too hot for them. So I will be pulling these out and replacing them with some new tomatoes. This tomato actually has some fruit on it. So my thought is that maybe I can cut the tops of these tomatoes and see if I can get the plant to ripen the fruit that it has on it before I pull them out. But they're not producing as much as they were earlier in the season. They're getting pretty beat up because of the sun. And then also in this bed I have some pepper plants, which these pepper plants in this bed just haven't taken off, and I think they might have been getting too shaded. So I'm gonna just leave these pepper plants here and see what happens. You can see on this side too. I have some more pepper plants on this side of the bed. And on the corner I have some basil, which all my basils are doing amazing. So I'll just probably cut that one down because it's getting pretty big. And then in this bed, the peppers in this bed are doing much better. I think they just get more sun in this area, so they're doing better. And then I have a little Rosita eggplant back there that's doing really well. And then in this pot I have an okra. So the peppers, eggplant, and okra will be staying, but this tomato plant will be coming out. So you can see it's right there in the bed. And I have it climbing up this little trellis, so I will be removing that whole tomato plant and the trellis because it doesn't belong there. And over here, see, all my other peppers are doing way better except for the ones in this bed. They're still pretty small, so I'm thinking they just don't get enough sun in that bed with the tomatoes. So hopefully when I trim up those tomatoes or pull them out, the peppers might get more sun and do a little better. And then in this bed, this is my basil bed. I have 4 different types of basil. So this is Genovese basil, lemon basil, Emily basil, and a chocolate basil. And in the back here, I have some okras. I'll go around to the other side so you can see. But also in this bed, I have 2. These are midget cantaloupe melons. I have one right here, and then one right here. And then I also have 1 sugar baby watermelon right there. So, whoa. Hi. I didn't see you. Hi. Hi. So my plan for this bed was to have the melons trail down and then go all the way over here and mulch this flower bed. But now that I think about it, it won't work because I water everything by hand, and if these melons go all the way over here, when I water this bed, they're gonna get all sprayed with water, and I don't want to get any diseases on my leaves. So I'm trying to, let me show you from this side. So I'm trying to train them to come this way. Yeah, I'm trying to train them to come this way and let them grow out into the grass. And then over here, this was, oh, hold on. These were the okras. So I have 4 okras over on this side. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I had to put a stake though because they're so thin and they were just falling over. So I'm hoping that when I trim this basil, when I trim it back, that maybe it'll give more sun for these okras to start getting bigger. And then over here in this bed, this is my sunflower bed that is doing really not good. Let's see. So the flowers have been opening, they're beautiful, but now it's just looking like a hot mess. So I will be pulling all these sunflowers out and replacing it with Mexican sunflowers. So that's what will be going in this bed.
Yeah, look at how high this. Look at how.
And I think also in this bed with the Mexican sunflowers, I might put some melons on the end of the bed right here. That way they can just trail all out into the grass. And now that I'm thinking about it, I really should have just put melons on the ends of all my beds. That way they could have just trailed out over here into the grass and it wouldn't have gotten in the way of my walkways. But I already have them over here, so so these ones are staying, these melons are staying, and they're just midget cantaloupe, 2 of them, and then 1 sugar baby. And I'm just going to try my best to train the leaves to trail down and come this way to the grass. That way they don't grow in this bed because I will be needing to water that bed, and I don't want to wet all the leaves every time I water it. So yeah, a lot of things are not doing well in my garden. Over here I put zinnia seeds, and even those things look funky. I don't know if they're not getting enough sun and they're just leggy, or I'm really not great with flowers, so I don't know what's the problem here. But I started a lot of zinnias inside from transplants, or from seeds. I started them inside from seeds. Here is my tomatillo plants, which are not doing good. They have some pretty new growth on them, but then they are yellowing and I don't know, they're just not doing well. So I might trim this plant up and try to keep the new growth and trim all this yellow foliage on the bottom and see if I can get it to do better. But if it doesn't, I will be pulling these tomatillos also, because I also have some tomatillo seeds that I'm starting inside, so I don't mind if I need to redo it. I also don't think I'll grow tomatillos in these pots anymore. They did not do the best in there. So as you can see, my summer garden is not doing that great, but that's okay because I have a lot of beautiful transplants inside and it's monsoon time. So everything that doesn't look too good is going to be coming out and I'm going to be replacing it. here in Arizona in the summer it's super tough to grow, and so not everything's going to be a success, and that's okay. The thing is to keep on going. You can always plant something, and right now is the monsoon, so we have another window to plant all of our summer stuff and give it another go. So that's what we're going to be doing, and hope for the best. So I'm going to take you inside because I have chickens, and it's time to clean out their little brooder situation we have in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you along to show you how I have my chicks set up and how I clean it, I guess. Show them the chickens. Where's the chickens?
Here. Oh, here.
So I have them in my kitchen, just in this little storage container with a heat lamp that is on a tripod. So that's how I have them so far. And there they are. And over here, this is where I have my little seedlings. It's not the prettiest, but it works to hold my grow lights. So, and it grows really beautiful transplants. Not the prettiest, but it's convenient, and it's been working. So those are my seedlings. Some of them I never came up, so I had to put more seeds, and I'm waiting for those ones to come up. But I have melons and cantaloupe, tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, zinnias, and okra. So I am set for the monsoon garden. So we decided to use shredded paper for their bedding while they're little. That way when I clean this, I can just go ahead and throw it all into the compost. And it's free because all the papers are like credit card offers or junk mail. Hot over here, but all I'm gonna do is just dump it in, and it's that easy. And I'll mix this later on. So if you have chicks, it's really easy if you want to just go ahead and use shredded paper as their bedding for when they're small. Because then you can just dump it all into the compost, and it's free. Excuse me, Google. It's free because I think everybody gets so much junk mail. Come on, G. No.
Just need water.
I'm gonna just rinse it out and get their water inside. Munchie, want to eat bird food?
Monkey. I do like bird food now. Now what's like bird food? Monkey, hey. What do you like?
But yeah, it's that easy. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and put more shredded paper down and fill their water and their food tray. And it's that easy.
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and sweep up all this mess when I'm done.
Yeah.
That's all I do is just put shredded paper, and that's all they need for now. Well, that was it, you guys. We hope you like it.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.